before I started BloomsYard, so BloomsYard was a business that started in COVID.
Yeah.
Before that, I've been an accountant, finance director, CFO for various hospitality businesses, like some restaurants, some pubs. And then the last role that I had was in coffee, and I was CFO for a business that was buying up lots of independents and bringing them under one umbrella and trying to, have that one single head office function to run all the independent brands and stuff. Sadly, that business is no longer around.
Yeah.
It was a really tough time, and I was there for 11 months and I was trying my hardest to make it work. But I then left after 11 months. 2 weeks after I left, we went into lockdown. So, that gave me the time to think about what I wanted to do, and then BloomsYard was born. Yeah, I mean, I still use my kind of accountancy stuff in all of my day-to-day. And, I wasn't just doing accounting, because I was always working for small brands that were growing, and so everybody kind of did a bit of everything. And so I learned a lot along the way in order to be able to do this now, having only been an accountant, before this. But
that's amazing, because I feel like friends that also have small coffee businesses or brands, actually that's the big piece that no one's got that background. Come from the love
I know,
of coffee,
the other way around.
That's amazing. I feel like that's the bit that keeps everyone awake at night, because it's that because suddenly you're a business owner with accounts, with VAT returns, with like strategic planning and making sure you can do payroll and reserves and all of that stuff.
All of that
amazing
stuff.
to come from having that already there, right? Like that.
Yeah. So, and everybody does kind of talk about that, because they're like, oh, well, who does your accounts? And I was like, yeah, it's me. I do it. And also that because I had that knowledge of all these years working in hospitality, and it just meant that when it actually came to me setting up my own hospitality business, it was so, I mean, I don't want to say it was so easy, but it was much easier for me, right? Because I knew what I needed from a till system.
Yeah.
I knew what I needed from an accountancy package, software. I knew what I needed to do in terms of stock management, etc. So, a lot of time under finance, like IT comes into that role as well. And so, like in terms of all those systems, I was ready. I didn't have to, yes, I went out to market to see what was around. I pretty much knew. And I didn't have to then bulk it up with all these fancy systems that do a whole load of things that nobody ever really knows how to use.
No.
Or even if they know that they've got all these functions.
Yeah.
So my kind of tech stack is super simple. And I hardly pay anything for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
In all honesty. I think that's a big win from my side, which enabled me to do this as well. And just because I've got that kind of finance background as well, setting up the tills to integrate into this and integrate into all of them together, again, was just simple to me, because I just had one way of doing it and it all just kind of works.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people do struggle with that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, tell me about your business.
So we come from it from actually almost opposite sort of way in from yourself. We're a roastery and a coffee shop, and we are coming up for 7 years. 7 years in the new year. And we started, like you, a wee bit before COVID. So I had a big full-on job and
corporate role, was it?
Fundraising, charity fundraising. And both my partner and I have always loved coffee and done a wee bit of barista stuff in the past, but had kind of lost that. But he grew up on a coffee farm in Medellin in Colombia.
Oh, wow.
Which is quite unique in, I guess, in the coffee space, in that to genuinely sort of know that side of production and harvest and all of that. But his granddad had won this little bit of land on a mountainside in a game of poker in the 70s, and they've been living there since. So we decided we were going to try and bring his family coffee over to roast it, share it. Started off with a super teeny tiny, too small a roaster in a shed. We built something in the back garden, set up online, but not very well. Cycle deliveries around Southeast London, all of that stuff. And then COVID hit. And for us, because we were operating out of a workspace in our back garden, where lots of bigger roasteries had to temporarily shut, we were called on for coffee. We were like, oh,
you can still do it.
This is getting serious. Yeah, exactly. So I just remember my partner just up all night, every night, just roasting on this ridiculously small roaster. But what was good, and looking back and in hindsight, was those thousands of hours of mastery almost, just because you didn't have another option. And and then sort of over the years have scaled up to different roasteries and worked out of an industrial unit. But 2 years ago, we combined the roastery with like a coffee shop space because we wanted to create an experience for people where they could come in and see the roasting, do workshops, the green coffees there, like sensory stuff. We could serve different drinks, ones that were sort of coming up on our rota of the different coffees, and just sort of bring people together from that. So we're down in southeast London, and it's amazing. It's just wonderful. Lots of people come in and geek out with us about coffee, and we do fun things there. And so it feels like a real combining of the two. So working from an industrial unit, whilst it was fun and getting coffee out to like cafes and restaurants and coffee shops and stuff, and people drinking coffee at home, to be able to have all that face-to-face interaction that you miss a wee bit when you're online and sort of. So it's been very fun. But the systems and processes, something we're still working on. That's the bit that's
okay. We're going to chat.
Yes,
please. Chat after this.
Need your brain.
We'll sort it out.
What challenges have you faced? I guess COVID was a big one. But since COVID and everything.
Starting in COVID is probably the worst time to start.
Yeah.
In some ways.
Yeah.
Because actually, in other ways, it allowed me to like get rent deals on locations and stuff. But so that was the good part. The challenges have to be like all the things that were thrown at us all at once. And, like whether that was because in that time there were suppliers and they had to kind of stick with the customers that gave them the volume. And so one tiny little coffee shop, they just dropped me without any notice. And then I was suddenly like running to Tesco to buy stuff.
Gosh.
My milk supplier stopped servicing us. Until then, I was like quite comfortable in the milk being delivered.
Yeah.
So just turning up there, which is lovely. And then suddenly you've got to actually go to somewhere in a car, if you've got one, load it all into the car and then unload it when you get to the shop and carry it to where, like, it's just, that one thing of just milk.
Yeah, huge chunk of your day, right? And just like brain space to think where you're going to get it. And also to get barista milk too. It's like, there's not really, the supplies are all outside of London, right? All the dairy farms.
Well, if you've got like a wholesaler near you, then you might be lucky. I couldn't believe at that time that a supplier would just drop me like that when I'd been using them from the start of my business. It wasn't necessarily for like years and years that I'd been using them, but I was a loyal customer. They dropped me. So, there was that. The staffing has been, over the years, has just been horrendous. Like just to find staff that are willing to stay in hospitality, like after everything that's happened as well. The constant increase of minimum wage and stuff, like pushing everything up. Here, all of my sites that are in London and they're all in pretty good locations, but that means that my business rates are absolutely mental. Everyone's got their like list of things that they want, to get better, and that's usually like rent and rates and wages and VAT rate as well. But my top thing has got to be business rates, because like it absolutely kills me here in London. I don't know what's going to happen with that. There might be good news on the way, but who knows? But that's the one thing. If I had a magic wand today, that I would absolutely just.
Do you get any support through the hospitality?
The relief?
Yeah, on business rates or.
Oh God, don't get me.
I mean, it's not.
Like
I know it's very token, isn't it? It's like.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's nice when you were getting like 75% relief.
Yeah.
That went down, and that went. Now it's like 40, and then nothing from next April. But the way that the VOA cut up this space as an example, because the kitchen, which is all the way back there, because it doesn't touch the counter, it's counted as a separate space. What it means is that the counter is considered hospitality, so I can get the relief, but the kitchen is not. Although it is one business and it's a hospitality business, on the kitchen space I have to pay full rates all the time, all day, every day. And I'm really like fighting about that, but I just don't think I'm going to get anywhere with it. But I've had a really good go. So that just really seems unfair to me, because the kitchen is there because it runs the counter. The two parts of the building don't touch, but so I get relief on one bit and not the other. And that also happens at another site around the corner, because we've got a counter and then the storage space. to keep everything. And we have fridges and freezers and stuff in that storage space.
Yeah.
And to keep all the stuff for hospitality businesses, cups and napkins and all of that kind of stuff, I get the relief on the counter, but not on the storage space. Can't understand it. It's really unfair. Like, I could cry. But
I imagine the person on the phone understands, but then they've just...
Well, no, they're just like, here's the rules. So it's kind of like computer says no.
That's a killer, isn't it? Because
yeah.
margins are so tight to retain amazing team.
It's not a kitchen for anything else. It's only a kitchen for my hospitality business. So why can I not get it? It's not a storeroom for anything. I don't keep any of my household goods in there. It's a storage unit for my hospitality business, but it's just not allowed. And so if anybody can help with that, I would love to hear from you because like that is really, really upsetting me and has been for us a while. Yeah,
I understand that.
So what about you? What have been the challenges? Was it really difficult for you, like when you suddenly started getting all that demand in terms of like scaling up?
So it all feels a bit of a blur because you kind of just make it happen, right?
Yeah,
Because
you
you're like,
do
oh,
it.
this is a great opportunity. But I guess for us, like the kinks have been processes around suddenly scaling and having so many customers, and then what's supporting that underneath, how are we making sure everyone's still getting things at the right time in the right way. And then for us being sort of I guess a bootstrapped, as you call it, business without the big investment, like making that jump to get better packaging, making that jump to invest in like a much bigger container of really amazing coffee. And for us, what's really important are like the stories of and the relationships of the farms that we work with. So we try and work either through lovely importers in the UK or sometimes directly in Colombia, this is my partner, but trying to make sure that we're getting the coffee year on year out, but like that investment bit, and then everything just being, the margins are so tight in coffee. Like I feel like do very limited feed, but it looks like you do lots of amazing feed here, that because we're just sort of coffee based in the coffee shop and the coffee retail coffee, those margins are so tight. It's tricky trying to do like big jumps in terms of marketing or big jumps in terms of packaging development or investment for green coffee. We've got to be really like super like move tiny bits around all the time to try and free up a little bit here and a little bit there. You know, things like the national insurance increase, all of those things have massively impacted on a, you know, in terms of what there is to be able to do more. And like I feel, don't know if it's just us, but it's not like there's huge take homes. It's just about making sure that we meet payroll, that everyone's doing something they love. So when like national insurance changed and things like that, then that completely knocks out planning of being able to like buy great coffee for the following year or be able to do a wee bit more with what we've already got. So it's just that constant moving around. But you know, like it's a really lucky challenge to have. Like we're so lucky, we feel very lucky to just get to hang out with really lovely people, get really exciting coffee and rabbit hole on like how we brew it, how we roast it. So like it's very much for us, because we love it, then it's a really exciting thing. But like the business side of it is tricky.
Yeah.
I
know, because also like, so we are also bootstrapped. So I think it's very different for those that have gone down the route of fundraising and all of that. And I could have done that.
Yeah.
Because I've got experience in it. I've done it for other people.
Yeah.
But actually, because of the way that BloomsYard came about, you know, which was in that quiet time of sitting at home in lockdown and all of that, I decided to start up BloomsYard at the time, which was just online and no physical site or anything. Couldn't even do that at that time. But in that way, it's my passion project. You know, BloomsYard is all of the things that I love, you know, coffee and wine and, you know, some foodie bits to go with it. And so for that, I didn't feel like I wanted to fundraise. I just wanted to try and do it by myself.
Yeah.
If I had have raised the money, you know, I wonder where I would have got to with it as well, like how many more sites and things. But I don't think that's not really what I want to do.
Yeah, I guess it's that way off, isn't it, between like the pressure of investors and knowing you've got monthly shareholder meetings versus the freedom to see what happens. Same in a previous sort of job before coffee and like actually,
the dread of a board meeting and having to prepare stuff and answer to people. Yes, that's what it is. I just definitely didn't want to do that anymore.
No, and having that freedom to put what you want on the menu, or freedom to close if you need to, and actually it's you that's going to be impacted and not somebody else that's wanting And margins in coffee, or I don't know, on the restaurant side or on it's tricky.
Yeah. So is it the space that you have, is that part of your roastery that you use like as a cafe?
Yeah, so we have at the moment probably a little bit too much space for the coffee shop and not so much as much as we need for the roastery space. So we've got our roaster in there and like our packing stuff and our fulfillment side. So we roast when we're open as well.
So everyone can see what's going on.
Yeah.
That's some of the beauty of it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. We've done it in a way that we have like it's safe and that people can't get past, but it is a different sensory experience. Like coffee doesn't smell like coffee when it's roasting. Like all of that stuff comes later. So like, yeah, it's wonderful for that, for us trying to get that balance between having enough space to do the roastery and the coffee shop. And like, we're probably in too small a space, but we make it work for now. The team are very, very amazing at making it fun and like cracking on with those little knots of being almost in like huddled in a corner trying to pack coffee and get them out for wholesale customers, whilst we've got customers there doing tastings and we've got customers there just in with their mates having coffee. So like it's a very noisy space.
Yeah. And what do you think, like, do you feel like you want to grow that side of the business, like in terms of coffee shop site?
Yeah, we'd love to. We're hoping to open another couple in the next couple of years. For us, it's so we've been looking for a little while, but it's trying to find the right site. The site we're in now, it was, I reckon, a good year and a half of either being near completion and it falling through with certain places, or suddenly getting cold feet and actually going, is there the footfall here? And I feel like the more you do it, the more you learn. And so we would probably actually now, having been in the existing space for 2 years, do it very differently already than what we've done. We make it work, but it's not, like the team are amazing. It's not an easy space. And footfall wise at the weekend, it's okay. And like, because we've worked really hard at bringing people in and creating a community over the last couple of years, it works, but we would need to go higher footfall. And what about you? So you've got 2 spaces.
It's 6 actually.
How did I miss that? Tell me more about having 6 spaces.
Yeah, so I just have to say that definitely that kind of learning from, my first space to my next and my next, like the learning of choosing the right space have been massive. And so if I went back to like the first space that we got, which was in the local shopping centre to where I was living at the time, and it was just, I took a small space because I just thought, let me just test I can actually do this. And so covers wise it was maybe about 10 or 12 to sit, and that's it, really small, like no space for kitchen and like nothing else. But I didn't even know what I needed back then.
You don't till you're in it.
I didn't know if I needed 3 fridges and a freezer and a any of those things really. I mean, I knew a little bit from having been around coffee shops and working in industry, but I didn't really know. And so the learning, so actually I've actually opened 7 in this time and I closed 1. So it's the first one that I closed. So I traded it for 2.5 years and then I closed it, but I closed it because there were so many things that were not right. However, it was good because it got me on the ladder and it got me started. So it wasn't like a waste or anything, but it was in a shopping centre. I was up a mall, Central Mall, and I was opposite a great big Primark. So I thought, okay, I'll get the footfall because of that. And actually, downstairs in that shopping centre, there was a Starbucks near one of the entrances, and there was a big Costa, like massive Costa downstairs on the other side. And, they were getting everybody. And actually, me thinking that upper mall opposite Primark was going to be like a fab location actually wasn't for me.
Okay.
Yeah, like people wanted, I don't know why downstairs was more popular than upstairs. I don't know if that's just how it is, but that's what I found. But also that my space was too small.
Right. In
a shopping centre, let's just think about it rationally. Like people are shopping, they've got their bags, or they're waiting while someone else is going to the shops or whatever. They all want to sit down and they want space. And I didn't have that. Whilst my coffee shop looked beautiful, really did, because I really worked hard on it. But there wasn't space for people to sit down. And in that shopping centre, that's what they wanted. And if they were just jumping in for a coffee and then running out. That's why downstairs worked, especially by the doors.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, whilst it was my first site and all of that, and it was difficult to close it, I did close it, and I don't regret it. I just wish that I knew more then. You know, I wish that I'd picked a different site, because at that time, the shopping centre had loads of empty units.
Yeah.
But I took the smallest one because.
Well, also you don't know, do you? At the time, and you just think, test it. But then maybe everything else wouldn't have come about if you hadn't.
Maybe.
Because
maybe
gives you the bug, right? So then, what was the second space?
So this is number 2.
Yeah.
And then number 3, I was at the tube station, so another tiny one. So this one was like big, and then the tiniest one ever is at the tube station, and it's quite a residential area, so it's quite community.
Oh, lovely.
So yeah, it's really nice. It's just like kind of one person generally works at a time.
Yeah.
I can't do anything more than a few pastries there because it's so small. But because it's at the tube station, we get all the commuters and stuff, and it's lovely, really, really lovely little site. So that was number 3, and then I think number 4 was Regent's Close, which is near Warren Street Station.
Yeah.
That site, it gave me so many problems. I basically was broken by the time we opened it, you know, just because also being bootstrapped, I've not got enough money. Like, I haven't got loads of money to like be paying everyone to do everything. And so I was doing a lot of it myself.
Yeah.
So if it was like sanding floors and
Oh, God.
hanging lights, painting, wallpapering, if you go to the Regent's Place site and you look at the counter,
Yeah.
there's an LED strip light under the counter just to light it up a bit.
Yeah.
And I know that I broke that when I fitted it.
Oh.
Because so everyone can go and have a look at this now, and you'll see the bit that I broke, because it's right in the corner, and like these LED strips, they're adhesive on the back, right? So I just like, you just stick them on.
Oh yeah, I've seen
them
that.
in and that.
Yeah.
And I pressed it so hard to stick it on the first corner that the first 3 or 4 LED lights are dead. So
I know that. It's own little story though within itself.
Yeah,
How
but
many hours did you work on this site? I mean, that sounds.
Oh my God, it was.
epic.
Yeah, I was pretty much there straight for like 3 or 4 weeks, constant, because I just wanted to, like, as soon as I had the keys, I needed it to be open to be making some money.
Yeah.
So yeah, thankfully my husband was really good, looked after the girls for the whole time, but that meant he couldn't help me, so I was just there.
Yeah.
You know, at that time I'd hardly had much team, so there was nobody to pull in.
No.
So yeah, it was me.
Well done though. That's must be a real, like, to look at it now. It's pretty cool.
I mean, on that opening day, I was cut and bruised and battered, basically. So, but yeah, I mean, but it is such a fab story of this space, because so I've had it for about 3 years, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just over 3 years. It made mad losses at the beginning, to the point where I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to close the site. I've just done all of this. I'm going to have to close it because I just can't make it work. But we had loads of things happening at that time because we were affected by tube strikes. It was around the time when the Queen died, and that just really affected sales madly in London. It's funny to think about that, but it did. And also on the square that we're on, they were doing like loads of works on the outside, landscaping and stuff.
Right.
There was massive hoarding up everywhere, so nobody could even see us. The landlord was like, well, we'll just put signs to say BloomsYard this way. I was like, but nobody knows who BloomsYard is.
Yeah.
If you put Pret this way or Starbucks or something, that's fine, because everybody knows who that is, but no one knows who BloomsYard are. So that didn't really matter to me. It didn't make any difference. So we were really hidden for a long period of time, and literally just lost money like mad. The whole business was going to probably go under, because, what else was I going to do?
Yeah.
But actually, now that's our second best site.
No way. How did you turn it around? What happened?
Oh my gosh. The team are just real troopers.
Amazing.
I mean, we've been through some different team, but we've got a few that have been constant throughout, and we just try different things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we try to speak to our customers and listen to what they want. You know, like, there's no hot food option. What could we do?
Yeah.
We've got a bit of soup, but how much more? Like, we don't have like cooking kitchens.
Yeah.
But actually, we found this option to make pizzas. got this little pizza oven. Doesn't take up much space.
Yeah.
Working with a company that provides all the bits and bobs that I need.
Yeah.
And now we've got a hot food option, which
Incredible.
I don't need chefs to do it,
No.
you know, and they're delicious.
Oh,
Really good. Come and have a pizza. So we've added that on there. It doesn't mean that I'll have that at every site, but you know, that was specific to my customer base there, and that's what I had to do. And then they started realizing that yes, we also do wine, so pizza and wine is going really well. It did take at least 2.5 years to start really doing something, but I stuck at it for that time, and so many points in that time where I was like, it's going to be so painful, but I'm going to have to close it. And then I didn't, and I'm so glad. Like, not everybody can do that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm really, really, really pleased with what that site has done.
That's
and how
amazing to be so resilient, to have seen it through what sounds like such a tough time.
And like you were saying, like being bootstrapped and maybe sales aren't going so well, and then it's like, oh my God, I've got all these people to pay. Like payrolls come round. And there have been really stressful points like that.
Yeah.
You know, I'd say there was a period of at least 6 months where I was like literally like calling up my sister, like, can you lend me $2,000? I'll pay you that. You know, and you know, there were and they were pretty dark times.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we kept going, and my team are like so great with me as well. You know, and so and here we are, and we're doing that little bit better. Yeah, I just want it to get better and better.
So from what happened in that site, so your fourth site.
Oh yes. So where were we up to?
So the third site, and then like came up with the pizza.
Oh yeah. So that was the fourth site.
Fourth site. There we go.
Fifth site was Marble Arch. Sixth site was just around the corner here, Finsbury Avenue.
Oh, cool.
And then seventh site, which I opened 1 year ago.
Yeah.
Probably next week. Is Islington.
Oh, how lovely. Whereabouts?
And so it's Caledonian Road. So we started, and we kind of like just kind of plateaued on this average weekly sales.
Yeah.
And it was fine, but it wasn't quite enough. And then we just kind of like really like put these posters outside. We've gone out to the businesses around, got the right team in there that are like chatty. And
I was just going to say, what makes the right
all of
team?
that,
Because it sounds like you've got, remember before, you must have 7 teams, Rose.
well, so it was 7, and then I closed 1. So now I'm back at 6. Yeah.
So what's been your biggest learning with recruiting or finding the right people to
Oh, well, we've
make
been
your
through
business go so well?
We've been through everything, you know, people that have come and gone badly and nicely and all sorts. And then some that have stayed.
Yeah.
And you know, that are really part of my story.
Yeah.
Business and story and stuff. But there is an art, I think, to recruiting the right people for your business.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think you only learn that as you meet and probably recruit more people along the way.
Yeah.
Because you start to get a feel for, you know, who the type of person that is right for your business. Might not be right for your business, might be right for another business. But I think, you know, hopefully we're getting there, because that kind of staff turnover has slowed down now. You know, there was a time where it was absolutely rife, like crazy. HR contracts were going out like mad because we were recruiting.
That's hard, isn't it? To have, if new people are coming in or people are turning over, to have that continuity for the customers, and then everything you've already put into place, right? The retraining that people.
Oh gosh, the time spent on training, the time and effort. It's really tough. It's really tough.
Yeah.
But like, I'm so happy at this point. Like, I just feel like we've got great team really, all of us together.
Yeah.
In the sites right now. And I just pray that we've got it right, you know.
No, it sounds like you do. So they work across the different sites, or
Some of them do. So some are really just based in their own, but the ones that are ready to move around can. And to be honest, like none of the sites are very far away from each other.
Yeah.
And that really helps. Like, you know, if someone calls in sick, or suddenly we've got really busy or we can move people around.
But also keeps it fresh, I guess, with
Yeah.
people, because it's that whole, isn't it? What opportunities do we give someone to keep them really enthusiastic and learning?
A different environment and stuff.
Yeah.
But still staying within the business. So yeah, I really love that as well, that we can move people around if necessary.
So when you go out on like a big team night out, there must be a right gang of you. How many of you are there?
Actually, there's not that many. I mean, it sounds like, but you know, like the Watford site, at the tube station.
Yeah.
That's a really small team, and they're kind of part-timers, and then like, probably this one's the biggest team because it's the biggest space as well. But yeah, there's not that many of us, but we only all go out together as one big team for Christmas. And how's your team? How's that all going?
Good. We're very, very lucky. Like, we're at an amazing point where everyone gets on really well. They work really hard, and everybody shares a big geekiness for coffee and creates some amazing stuff together. And actually what's so lovely as well is like just the amazing friendships that have formed. I love that while people are working at Carnival, and they have fun. And so we have one night out in January also for Christmas, isn't it? Because we're like, oh,
everyone in Hospo must do it in Jan. It's just a thing, isn't it?
Yeah. No, we're very, very lucky. We haven't always got it right, but it feels like everything's come together in the last couple of years, and we've got very lucky to have an amazing team. But it's just how we can, for us, trying to think through how we can create more opportunities or places to visit or things to learn for it to stay interesting for them, so we can keep people happy in their role, right, rather than just in their role.
Of course. We have to keep pushing that, don't we? So what's the next exciting thing for you guys?
So we are doing some development work and new varieties in the farm in Colombia, so that's all coming next year.
Okay.
We are talking about for next year how we can have more of a presence at all the different coffee festivals, so taking the team out on the road.
That's nice. That's exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, hopefully a great opportunity for them, and to visit different cities and do different coffee pop-ups and different things. How about yourself? What's coming up?
Maybe a new site, but it's nothing that I've got in the pipeline. But you know, we are at 6. We've had a little break, just letting the dust settle.
When you say break, how long's the break? It sounds like you've done so much.
Well, so the last one was Islington, and that was just about a year ago.
Yeah.
So I've not opened anything for a year, which feels like a break.
I just think you're amazing. I'm like, sorry, what would you be? It's a great for you.
Yeah, well, I just, it's because, I opened like so many in such this short period of time that this is a break. But yeah, it's not like I have anything lined up, but I also don't just want to stop.
Well, what's your vision? So in like 2 years or 5 years, when you go, oh, look, like that's where I want to get to. Or
I'm not saying that I want hundreds of sites at all, because like I said, this is not like for me to take over the world or anything. I just think 10 sites might be my maximum. I mean, I'm quite comfortable at 6, but also I don't want to just leave it there. I just feel there's a bit more I can do. But I'm not like in a rush for it, is the thing now. If I'd have only got like 1 or 2, I'd have been like, when's the next one, etc. But I think I'm good right now, and I'd like another one and maybe another one after that. But this time I'll go in with a lot more knowledge about what is the right site, and it's got to be a really good one if I go for the next one. So I am in that luxury, I suppose, of not being in a rush and just ready to take the right one rather than anyone.
I love that. I'm excited to see I think you should come down to South East London.
You know, really good to meet you. Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to the London Coffee Festival's Founder Stays On podcast. We hope you enjoyed hearing these incredible stories from the people shaping the future of specialty coffee. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode, and follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn for more behind the scenes content. See you on the next one.